What about your career? How did you start at properties?
So in 2000, my partner, Mike Golden and I, which we were really one of the first teams in America, we were the number one agent. And we felt that, the company we worked for, which is a very small company, we felt like we worked for that company as opposed to the company working for us. So we thought if we flipped it and we did a 180 and we said, okay, if we know how we sell, we're a large team. We have a lot of agents, we have a lot of projects, we have resale, development. If we build an organization that services us, that services agents, it'll be much more attractive for agents. And if we build a culture around that first, and then sprinkle our personalities and our own philosophy into that culture, that we can build something, one, that's a magnet for agents that want to belong to, and number two, provides better tools and resources for the agent to distribute to the consumer, giving the consumer experience significantly better than what would be our competition in Chicago.
And you just mentioned culture. I think it is so important because if I were an agent, that's the first thing I would be looking for, is for the right culture for me. Yeah. And for me to feel comfortable. And yes, the company is working for me and cares about me as an agent and the final consumer, my clients, right?
Yes, that's a big deal. And I think there's lots of components to culture, and I think every company defines themselves in a different way. I think our advantage was that we sold at high volume. So the piece of understanding the end consumer and what the agent really needed was very, very clear for us. That was a given. And then the other side of it was, what's the environment? What's the relationship? Our number one core value is everything is relationship. So what's the relationship we want to have with our agents? What's the relationship that we want those agents to have with our staff and our management? And what's the relationship that we want to convey that we hopefully distributes down to the end consumer to build a longer lasting bond?
That I certainly enjoy hearing that, because that is so important. And sometimes we hear, my brokerage is so agent centric, but it's really, if you really care about the agent, you should really care about the final consumer and how they keep the relationship, because that is their business and they are CEO of their own business, but you help them to be that CEO.
Yeah, I think you've seen both, right? You've seen the companies where we went through a period of time where, it being all about the agent doesn't mean that you have to give all of everything financially to the agent, because then you have no resources to provide the end consumer. And so what we saw in the downturn over the last year was that those companies really had to make a lot of cuts and had to reverse course on a lot of things, because we had this inflated market in 2021 that was, kind of unrealistic, a COVID injection.
COVID injection.
But I think when you...
That's the first time I hear that. I love it. Yeah, COVID injection.
Yes. And so, but when if you build a profitable company that's done responsibly, where the agents get a strong benefit, the lion's share of the commission, which they deserve and they are owed because they're really handling a significant portion of the deal, but there's enough revenue to still be able to provide the best technology, marketing, training and coaching, culture, physical space, collateral material, those things, that still is so crucially important to the end consumer that's distributed by the agent. So you have to be able to do it all.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. The platform alone is a fortune, but you can't really survive without it. The CRM, that is the investment that helps, that you are creating to help the Definitely. Final consumer in the long run.